Doyen felt the room spin around him. One moment he was checking the metal beams in the new station wing, and the next moment his legs stopped working. He grabbed the wall, but his fingers slipped. The floor rushed up to meet his face. "Engineer down! Someone help!" A voice shouted from somewhere far away. Doyen tried to speak, but his mouth felt like it was full of sand. His head hurt. His stomach hurt. Everything hurt. He heard footsteps running toward him. Strong hands lifted him up. The ceiling lights blurred into white streaks as someone carried him down the hallway. "Stay awake, human. We are taking you to medical bay," said a voice with a strange accent. Doyen tried to focus on the face above him. 4 eyes stared back at him. 4? No, that could not be right. He blinked hard. Still 4 eyes. Oh, right. Vraxians had 4 eyes. Doyen remembered now. He was on Nexus 7, the big space station where many different aliens worked together. He had come here 3 months ago to help build new rooms for the station. He was the only human engineer here. The medical bay doors opened with a soft sound. The Vraxian worker carried him to a table and set him down gently. The table was cold and hard. Bright lights shined down on Doyen's face. "What happened?" a new voice asked. This one sounded calm and professional. "He fell during inspection. He was checking the new wing structure," the worker explained. "Thank you. You may go. I will take care of him now." Doyen heard footsteps walking away. He forced his eyes open and saw a tall figure standing next to the table. The figure had blue skin that looked like crystal. 4 arms moved with quick, precise motions, touching buttons on a screen. "I am Dr. Veleth. Can you hear me, human?" the doctor asked. "Yes," Doyen croaked. His voice sounded terrible. "Water?" "Not yet. First I must scan you." Dr. Veleth moved a large machine over Doyen's body. The machine hummed softly. Lights ran up and down Doyen's chest and legs. "What is your name?" "Doyen Kim." "Good, your brain is working." "When did you last eat, Doyen Kim?" Doyen tried to remember. "Yesterday morning, I think, maybe. That was 36 hours ago," Dr. Veleth said. The doctor did not sound happy. "And when did you last sleep?" I am not sure. 2 days? We had to finish the beam installation." "Foolish," Dr. Veleth muttered. "Humans are so fragile, yet you push your bodies like machines." The scanning machine beeped. Dr. Veleth went very still. All 4 of his eyes fixed on the screen. His crystalline skin seemed to lose some of its blue color. "What is wrong?" Doyen asked. A cold feeling spread through his chest. "Is it bad?" Dr. Veleth did not answer right away. He pressed more buttons. The screen showed images of Doyen's insides. The doctor leaned closer to the screen. Then he turned to look at Doyen with an expression that might have been horror. "Kor, come here immediately," Dr. Veleth called out. A younger Vraxian rushed into the room. This one had lighter blue skin and moved with nervous energy. "Yes, doctor?" "Look at these readings," Dr. Veleth said, pointing at the screen. "Tell me what you see." Kor studied the screen. His eyes grew wider and wider. "That cannot be right. The scanner must be broken. I ran 3 scans. All showed the same results," Dr. Veleth said quietly. "But that would mean—" Kor looked at Doyen with something like fear in his eyes. "How is he still alive?" "Excuse me," Doyen said, his voice getting stronger as worry made him more alert. "What are you talking about?" "What is wrong with me?" Dr. Veleth turned back to him. The doctor's 4 hands moved together in what might have been a calming gesture. "Please do not panic. I need to ask you some questions first. Have you been to any unknown planets recently?" "No, I came here from New Sol Colony 3 months ago. I have been on this station the whole time." "Have you touched any strange substances? Eaten anything unusual?" "No, just normal food from the station cafeteria." "Have you felt any pain? Any strange sensations in your body?" "Just tired. And hungry. That is why I fainted, right? Low blood sugar?" Dr. Veleth and Kor exchanged a long look. Finally, Dr. Veleth spoke. "Doyen Kim, I do not know how to tell you this, but your body is filled with foreign organisms." Doyen blinked. "What?" "The scan shows trillions of microscopic life forms living throughout your body. They are in your digestive system, on your skin, in your mouth, everywhere." Dr. Veleth's voice was very serious. "This level of infection should have killed you weeks ago." "Infection?" Doyen tried to sit up, but Dr. Veleth gently pushed him back down. "Stay still. We need to understand what we are dealing with before we begin treatment." Kor brought over another device. This one had a lens that made things look much bigger. The young nurse held it over Doyen's arm and looked through it. He gasped. "Doctor, I can see them. They are moving. What is moving? Doyen asked. Now he was really worried. The organisms. Under your skin. They are shifting around. Like a colony. Kor looked sick. Dr. Veleth took the device and looked at Doyen's arm himself. After a long moment, he lowered the device. His expression was very strange now. Doyen Kim, I must ask you directly. Something is moving under your skin. Actually, many somethings. How long have you been infected? Doyen stared at the doctor. Then understanding hit him. A laugh bubbled up from his chest. He could not help it. The situation was too strange, too ridiculous. You are laughing? Kor looked shocked. This is not funny. You are very sick. No, Doyen said, still smiling even though his head hurt. I am not sick. Well, I am hungry and tired, but the things you are seeing are not an infection. What do you mean? Dr. Veleth asked slowly. Those organisms are supposed to be there. They are part of me. All humans have them. We call it the microbiome. Doyen watched the two Vraxians' faces. You really did not know about this? Dr. Veleth's forearms dropped to his sides. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. Kor backed up a step, his eyes wide with shock. Supposed to be there? Dr. Veleth finally managed to say, You are telling me that all humans carry trillions of other life forms inside their bodies? On purpose? Not on purpose. We evolve together. They help us digest food and make vitamins and protect us from bad bacteria. We need them to survive. Doyen was starting to realize how strange this must sound to aliens. Other species do not have this? No, Kor said, his voice high with distress. Our bodies are our own. We do not share them with other creatures. Dr. Veleth held up one hand for silence. His crystalline face had taken on a very serious expression. Doyen Kim, are you saying that every human in the galaxy is like this? That this is normal for your species? Yes, every single one of us. Doyen sat up slowly this time, and the doctor did not stop him. Why, is that a problem? Dr. Veleth was quiet for a long time. Then he turned to Kor. Contact Xenobiology. Tell them we have a situation. Then contact the station commander and the human ambassador. This is much bigger than a medical emergency. As Kor rushed to send messages, Doyen felt a strange mixture of confusion and amusement. He had come to the medical bay because he fainted from not eating. Now it seemed like he had started an interstellar incident because of his gut bacteria. Can I at least get something to eat? Doyen asked. I really am just hungry. Dr. Veleth looked at him with all four eyes. Food, yes, but you will stay here. We need to study this. We need to understand what humanity really is. The way he said it made Doyen's smile fade. Suddenly, this did not seem funny anymore. 2 hours later, Doyen sat on the medical table eating a sandwich. It was not a very good sandwich, but he was too hungry to care. The medical bay had become crowded. Dr. Veleth stood near a large screen talking with 3 other aliens. Kor kept looking at Doyen like he might explode at any moment. The door opened and a human woman walked in. She wore a neat blue suit and had her black hair tied back. Doyen recognized her from the station welcome video. Ambassador Hyejin Choi, Earth's representative on Nexus 7. Ambassador, Dr. Veleth said, bowing his head slightly. Thank you for coming so quickly. Your message said it was urgent. Hyejin looked at Doyen. Are you all right, Mr. Kim? I am fine, Doyen said with his mouth full. He swallowed. Just needed food. The human is healthy, Dr. Veleth said. But we have discovered something very concerning about human biology. All human biology? Hyejin's professional smile did not change, but her eyes became sharper. I see. Perhaps we should speak privately. No need. Another human scientist is already on his way here. Dr. Taeyun Jang, your xenobiology expert. As if summoned by his name, the door opened again. A man in a white lab coat rushed in carrying a large bag. He had messy hair and glasses that kept sliding down his nose. I came as fast as I could, Dr. Taeyun said, breathing hard. Your message mentioned the microbiome. What happened? We scanned this human for a routine medical check, Dr. Veleth explained. The results showed massive contamination throughout his body. Trillions of microscopic organisms. Oh. Dr. Taeyun looked around at all the worried alien faces. Then he started to smile. Oh, you did not know about that? It is not common knowledge in the coalition? Hyejin asked carefully. Apparently not, Dr. Taeyun said. He set his bag down and pulled out a data pad. I should have thought of this. Earth only joined the coalition 5 years ago. Most species have not studied human biology in detail yet. Then explain it to us now, Dr. Veleth said firmly. How can humans survive with so many foreign organisms inside them? Dr. Tayun pushed his glasses up and activated his data pad. A hologram appeared in the air, showing a picture of the human body. Tiny dots covered every surface. These are bacteria, single-celled organisms. The average human body contains about 100 trillion bacterial cells. The aliens in the room went very quiet. That is more bacterial cells than human cells, Kor whispered. Correct, Dr. Tayun said. Humans are actually more bacteria than human by cell count. But bacterial cells are much smaller than human cells, so we are still mostly human by weight. But why? Dr. Veleth asked. Why would any species allow this? We did not allow it. We evolved together with these bacteria over millions of years. Dr. Tayun changed the hologram to show the inside of a human stomach. These bacteria help us break down food that we cannot digest on our own. They make vitamins that our bodies need. They train our immune systems to tell the difference between good bacteria and bad bacteria. What happens if a human loses these bacteria? One of the other aliens asked. Dr. Tayun's face became serious. They get very sick. Sometimes they die. We did experiments with mice many years ago. We raised mice in completely sterile conditions with no bacteria at all. The mice had weak immune systems, strange behaviors, and shorter lives. So humans need these organisms to survive, Dr. Veleth said slowly. You are dependent on them. Yes, and they are dependent on us. It is a partnership. Dr. Tayun showed another image. We even have medical treatments where we transfer bacteria from one person to another. Transfer bacteria? How? Kor asked. Through fecal transplants. We take waste material from a healthy person's intestines and put it into a sick person's intestines. The healthy bacteria colonize the sick person and help them recover. The silence that followed was very long and very uncomfortable. You transplant waste, Dr. Veleth said flatly, deliberately, only when necessary. It saves lives. Dr. Tayun seemed to realize how this sounded to aliens. I understand this is strange to you. What you need to know is that this is completely normal for humans. We are healthy. We are not contaminated or diseased. But you are not individuals, Kor said. His voice sounded upset. You are walking colonies. How can you even know what thoughts are your own? Doyen spoke up from his seat on the medical table. I know my own thoughts. The bacteria do not control me. They are just part of how my body works. Actually, Dr. Tayun said, recent research suggests gut bacteria do influence the brain. They produce chemicals that affect mood and behavior. The connection between the gut and the brain is very strong. Doyen frowned. You are not helping. I am being accurate, Dr. Tayun said. But the influence is subtle. Humans still have free will and individual personalities. Dr. Veleth walked to the window and looked out at space. His crystalline body reflected the stars. In all my years of medicine, I have never encountered anything like this. Every species in the coalition is biologically self-contained. We exist as individuals. That makes humans different, Hyejin said, but not dangerous. We have lived peacefully in the coalition for 5 years. Have you? Dr. Veleth turned around. Or have billions of bacteria lived here using human bodies as transportation? That is not fair, Doyen said, setting down his sandwich. We are still people. We still make our own choices, are you? Dr. Veleth asked. Or are you biological ships for organisms that have learned to make you think you are in control? Stop, Hyejin said firmly. This kind of talk will not help anyone. Dr. Tayun, is there any evidence that human gut bacteria can infect other species? No. Human bacteria are adapted to human bodies. They cannot survive in alien biology. Dr. Tayun pulled up more data. We have been very careful about contamination protocols since joining the coalition. But you cannot guarantee it, one of the other aliens said. What if the bacteria mutate? What if they learn to infect us? We cannot guarantee anything, Dr. Tayun admitted. But the risk is very small, much smaller than many other risks we accept every day. Dr. Veleth shook his head. This needs to go to the medical council. The coalition needs to decide what to do about humanity's unique biology. What to do about it? Hyejin's voice became cold. We are not a disease to be cured. This is how humans are. And the coalition has a right to know what they are dealing with, Dr. Veleth replied. 5 years ago, we allowed humans to join us. But we did not know the full truth about your biology. We did not know you were not truly individuals. We are individuals. Doyen stood up. His head still hurt, but he was too angry to care. Just because we have bacteria does not make us less human. Does it not? Dr. Veleth met his gaze with all four eyes. Where does Doyen Kim end and the bacteria begin? Can you even answer that question? Doyen opened his mouth, but no words came out. He had never thought about it that way before. He looked down at his hands. Under his skin, trillions of microscopic organisms were living their own lives, working together to keep him alive. Were they part of him? Or was he part of them? Hyejin put a hand on Doyen's shoulder. I will contact Earth immediately, and I will request an emergency meeting with the Coalition Council. This situation requires careful diplomatic handling. Good, Dr. Veleth said. Until the Council makes a decision, I recommend that all humans on this station follow enhanced hygiene protocols. And Doyen Kim should remain in the medical bay for observation. I need to get back to work, Doyen protested. You fainted from not eating or sleeping, Dr. Veleth said. You need rest regardless of your bacterial situation. Doyen wanted to argue, but Hyejin squeezed his shoulder. Stay here for now. Let me handle the politics. You just focus on recovering. As the others left the medical bay, Doyen sat back down on the table. Dr. Taeyun stayed behind, packing up his equipment. Is it really that strange? Doyen asked quietly. What we are? Dr. Taeyun looked up at him. To them, yes. They evolved on worlds with very simple biology. Their bodies fight off all foreign organisms. The idea of welcoming bacteria is like inviting an enemy into your home. But our bacteria are not enemies. No. They are friends, partners, family in a way. Dr. Taeyun smiled. Earth is different from other worlds. Life there learned to work together. That makes us special, Doyen, not weak, not contaminated, special. Doyen wanted to believe that, but as he lay back on the medical table and closed his eyes, he could not help wondering. What would the Coalition decide? Would humans be allowed to stay, or would they be sent home because they were too different, too strange, too full of life? Part 3 of the conference room was too cold. Doyen sat between Ambassador Hyejin and Dr. Taeyun, trying not to shiver. In front of them, 12 aliens sat in a semicircle. They represented different species from across the Coalition. Some had scales, some had fur, some looked like living crystals. All of them were staring at Doyen. At the center of the semicircle sat Arbiter Thex, an ancient quorum. The quorum looked like a tall gray statue with too many joints. When Thex spoke, his voice sounded like wind moving through caves. We are here to determine if humanity poses a biological risk to the Coalition, Thex said. Dr. Veleth, please present your findings. Dr. Veleth stood and activated a hologram. Images of Doyen's scans filled the air. 3 days ago, I examined a human patient. The scans revealed massive contamination. Every system in the human body contained foreign organisms. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, trillions of them. A murmur went through the alien council members. Further investigation revealed that this is normal for all humans. Dr. Veleth continued. They call it a microbiome. They claim it is necessary for their survival. Claim? Hyejin said sharply. It is not a claim. It is scientific fact. Please wait your turn to speak, Ambassador, Thex said. Dr. Veleth, continue. My concern is simple. Humans have been living and working on Coalition stations for 5 years. In that time, they have been spreading bacteria everywhere they go. We did not know. We were not prepared. And we have no way to know if these organisms might mutate and become dangerous to other species. A Pelthan Council member raised a webbed hand. Have there been any reported infections? Any cases of human bacteria harming other species? No, Dr. Veleth admitted. But the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because it has not happened yet does not mean it cannot happen. Now may we speak? Hyejin asked. Thex nodded. Hyejin stood. Dr. Veleth is correct that human biology is different, but different does not mean dangerous. Dr. Taeyun Zhang, one of our xenobiology experts, will explain why. Dr. Taeyun stood and pushed his glasses up. He looked nervous, but his voice was steady. The human microbiome evolved over millions of years on Earth. These bacteria are specially adapted to live in and on human bodies. They cannot survive in alien biology. He activated his own hologram. It showed a bacterial cell next to an alien cell. Human gut bacteria need specific temperature, pH levels, and nutrients. Your bodies are too different. The bacteria would die before they could cause any harm. But bacteria can evolve, a Vraxian council member said. They can adapt. Evolution takes time, Dr. Taeyun replied. And we have safety protocols in place. Humans wear special suits in sensitive areas. We clean our living spaces with approved methods. The risk of cross-species contamination is extremely low. But not zero, Dr. Velith said. Nothing is zero risk, Hyejin said. Every species in this room carries some form of biological material that could theoretically harm others. Viruses, proteins, genetic material. Should we expel everyone to be completely safe? That is not the same, Dr. Velith said. We are talking about trillions of living organisms that humans carried deliberately. Not deliberately, Doyen spoke up. Everyone turned to look at him. His heart was beating fast, but he continued. I did not choose to have bacteria. I was born with them. All humans are. It is just part of being human. Tell us, Doyen Kim, Thek said. Do you feel like an individual? Or do you feel like a colony? Doyen thought carefully. I feel like myself. I have my own thoughts, my own dreams, my own choices. The bacteria help keep me alive, but they do not control me. It is like having a liver or a heart. Those organs are part of me, but I do not think about them all the time. The bacteria are the same. But your liver does not have its own DNA, a council member said. It is made from your cells. These bacteria are separate life forms. Does that matter? Doyen asked. My body works. I am healthy. I am still me. Hyejin stood again. We have another expert who can speak to this. Minseo Park is a human immunologist. She has studied the microbiome for many years. A woman entered the room. She had short hair and carried a tablet. She bowed to the council and began speaking immediately. I understand your concerns, but I want you to understand something important. On Earth, nothing exists alone. Every organism has relationships with other organisms. Trees work with fungi. Flowers work with bees. Fish work with cleaning bacteria. This is how Earth's ecosystem functions. She showed images of Earth. Humans are part of that ecosystem. We did not choose our bacteria any more than trees chose their fungi. We evolved together, and because of that partnership, humans can do things other species cannot. Like what? Thex asked. Survive in extreme environments, digest a wide variety of foods, adapt to new conditions quickly. Minseo pulled up research data. Human gut bacteria can break down toxins. They can process synthetic compounds. They can even help fight off diseases. Interesting, the quorum scientist said. So this microbiome gives humans advantages? Yes, humans have colonized every environment on Earth. Deserts, ice sheets, mountains, jungles. We can eat almost anything. We can live almost anywhere. Part of that is because our bacteria adapt with us. The room fell silent as the council members thought about this. Dr. Velith stood again. That may be true, but it does not address the safety concern. Perhaps humans are more adaptable. That does not make them safe. Then what do you propose? Hyejin asked. Should humans be expelled from the coalition? Should we be quarantined on Earth? I propose mandatory biological modification, Dr. Velith said. The words hit like stones. Humans could be given treatments to eliminate their microbiomes. Then they could live safely among us, and that would kill us, Dr. Taeyun said, standing up. Humans cannot survive without our microbiome. We would get sick and die. Then perhaps you could be given artificial support systems. Medical technology could replace what the bacteria do. You want to fundamentally change what we are, Hyejin said. Her voice was cold. That is not acceptable. Neither is putting the entire coalition at risk, Dr. Velith replied. Enough, Thex said. We will not make rash decisions. Minseo Park, you said the microbiome helps humans adapt and fight disease. Can you provide evidence? Minseo nodded. Yes, I have data from experiments. I can show you what happens when humans lose their bacteria, and what happens when the bacteria are healthy and diverse. She showed images of mice. These are laboratory animals. We raised some with no bacteria at all. The sterile mice had weaker immune systems. They got sick more often. They behaved strangely. They died younger. Then she showed different mice. These mice have normal bacterial colonies. They are healthier, stronger, and live longer. The bacteria are not hurting them. The bacteria are keeping them alive. And this applies to humans? A council member asked. Yes. Humans who lose their gut bacteria through illness or medication become very sick. We have to rebuild their microbiome to make them healthy again. The quorum scientist leaned forward. You said humans can adapt quickly. Could this help them survive in places we cannot? Could they work in environments that would kill us? Minseo thought about it. Potentially, yes. If the bacteria adapt, humans adapt. We have not tested this in space yet, but the theory is sound. Then perhaps humans are not a threat, the quorum said. Perhaps they are an asset. If they can survive where we cannot, they could help expand coalition territory. Or they could contaminate new worlds with their bacteria, Dr. Veleth said. Everything contaminates everything, Hyejin said. That is the nature of life. The question is whether humans are dangerous, and all evidence says no. Thex raised a hand for silence. The council will vote. The options are 1. Expel humans from the coalition. 2. Require biological modification. 3. Allow humans to remain with enhanced safety protocols. 4. Allow humans to remain with no changes. Doyen held his breath as the votes were cast. The numbers appeared on a screen. Option 1, 2 votes. Option 2, 1 vote. Option 3, 8 votes. Option 4, 1 vote. The council has decided, Thex announced. Humans will remain in the coalition. However, enhanced hygiene protocols will be mandatory on all coalition stations. Additionally, research into human microbiology will be funded and monitored to ensure safety. Doyen felt the tension drain from his body. Hyejin squeezed his shoulder. Dr. Taeyeon smiled with relief. This meeting is concluded, Thex said. But know this, humans. You have been given a chance. Do not waste it. As they left the conference room, Doyen felt strange. He had won. Humans could stay. But the way the council looked at him had changed. He was no longer just an engineer. He was a representative of something strange and different and slightly frightening. His communicator beeped. A message from Earth. He opened it and his heart sank. Emergency. Colony ship Taeguk has encountered unknown pathogen. Crew dying. Coalition medicine ineffective. Need help immediately. Doyen showed the message to Hyejin. Her face went pale. They had just convinced the coalition that humans were not dangerous. Now humans needed help. Would the coalition respond? Or would they see this as proof that humans were too much trouble? 6 months had passed since the Taeguk incident. Nexus 7 had changed. In the medical bay where Doyen first collapsed, new equipment hummed quietly. Alien scientists worked alongside human researchers, studying bacteria under microscopes, growing cultures in special containers, running endless tests. The Interspecies Microbiome Research Institute occupied an entire wing of the station now. Dr. Taeyeon directed the project with Minseo as his partner. They had researchers from 12 different species working together. Even Dr. Veleth had joined the team. Doyen stood in the observation area watching scientists work below. He had finished his shift early today. The new wing expansion was complete ahead of schedule. Now he had time to think about everything that had happened. Doyen, a voice called out. He turned to see Nurse Kor approaching. The young Vraxian did not look afraid of him anymore. In fact, Kor smiled. Hello, Kor, how is the research going? Fascinating. We are testing bacterial strains on Vraxian skin samples. Some bacteria seem to enhance our radiation resistance. Kor's eyes sparkled with excitement. Dr. Veleth thinks we might be able to colonize planets with higher radiation levels if we use the right bacteria. That is wonderful, Doyen said. Are you going to try it yourself? Kor hesitated. I want to, but my family worries. They think having bacteria will change who I am. It might, Doyen said honestly. But change is not always bad. Look at me. I have had bacteria my whole life and I am still myself. But you were born with them. You never knew anything different. I would be choosing to become something new. That is true. Only you can decide if it is worth it. Kor nodded thoughtfully and walked back to the lab. Doyen continued watching the scientists work. The coalition had changed its mind about humans. Now they saw humanity's microbiome as an opportunity instead of a threat. But not everyone was happy about it. A group of traditionalist Vraxians still protested outside the institute every week. They carried signs saying keep biology pure and bacteria are not natural. Doyen understood their fear. Change was scary, especially change this fundamental. His communicator beeped. A message from Ambassador Hyejin. Emergency meeting. Come to conference room 7 immediately. Doyen's stomach tightened. Emergency meetings were never good. He hurried through the station corridors, wondering what had gone wrong now. When he arrived at the conference room, he found Hyejin, Dr. Taeyeon, Dr. Veleth, and Captain Jiho from the Taeguk. Their faces were serious. What happened? Doyen asked. Bacterial outbreak on Research Station Omega-3, Hijin said. Human gut bacteria escaped containment and mutated in the station's water system. 3 non-human crew members are sick. Doyen felt cold. How bad is it? Not fatal, but serious. The bacteria are causing digestive problems and fever. Dr. Taiyun pulled up data on a screen. The station violated safety protocols. They were studying human microbiome samples without proper containment. This is exactly what Dr. Veleth warned about, Captain Jiho said. The traditionalists will use this as evidence that human bacteria are dangerous. Can we fix it? Doyen asked. Yes, Dr. Veleth said. We can use bacteriophages. Those are viruses that specifically kill bacteria. We developed them for exactly this kind of situation. Then let us go, Doyen said. Right now, before this becomes a bigger problem. The team took a fast ship to Omega-3. When they arrived, the station was in panic mode. Crew members wore protective suits. The water system had been shut down. 3 Pelthan researchers lay in medical beds, their usually blue skin turned gray with illness. The station commander, a tall quorum, met them at the dock. Thank you for coming. This is a disaster. If those researchers die, the whole program will be shut down. They will not die, Dr. Veleth said confidently. We know exactly what to do. The team went to work immediately. Dr. Veleth and Dr. Taiyun analyzed the bacterial strain. It had indeed mutated, adapting to the station's water chemistry. But it was still vulnerable to specific bacteriophages. They prepared the treatment and administered it to the sick Pelthans. Within hours, the patients started improving. Within 2 days, they were healthy again. Dr. Taiyun also treated the water system, releasing bacteriophages that hunted down and destroyed the escaped bacteria. The station's water was clean within a week. How did this happen? Hijin asked the station commander. The quorum looked embarrassed. We were trying to move faster. We skipped some containment steps. It was a mistake. A mistake that almost killed your crew, Hijin said coldly, and almost destroyed human credibility in the coalition. Safety protocols exist for a reason. I know. I am sorry. It will not happen again. On the flight back to Nexus 7, the team was quiet. Doyen stared out the window at the stars. This will make things harder, Captain Jiho said. People will be afraid again. Maybe, Dr. Veleth said. But we also proved that we can handle problems when they arise. We have the knowledge and tools to keep everyone safe. Knowledge and tools are not enough if people do not use them correctly, Doyen said. True, Hyejin agreed. That is why we need to educate everyone. Not just about bacteria, but about responsibility. With power comes responsibility. 2 weeks later, the Coalition Council passed the Microbiome Accord. It established strict safety protocols for all research involving living organisms. It also created an oversight committee to ensure compliance. Humans would remain in the coalition, but everyone would follow the same rules. The Institute continued to grow. Species from across the galaxy came to learn about symbiotic relationships. Some chose to experiment with bacterial colonization. Others remained pure. Both choices were respected. One evening, Doyen found himself back in the medical bay where everything started. Dr. Veleth was there reviewing patient data. Do you ever think about that first day? Doyen asked. When I fainted and you discovered my microbiome? Dr. Veleth smiled, which looked strange on his crystalline face. Every day. That was the day I learned I did not understand biology as well as I thought. And now? Now I understand that life is about cooperation. Competition exists, yes. But cooperation is stronger. Your microbiome taught me that. Not my microbiome, Doyen said with a smile. Everyone's microbiome. It is just part of being human. Yes, and now other species are learning to be a little more human. Dr. Veleth paused. That is not an insult, by the way. Being human is more complex than I thought. They walked to the observation deck together. Below them, the Institute buzzed with activity. Scientists from different worlds worked side by side. Barriers were breaking down. Understanding was growing. Doyen's communicator chimed. A message from Core. I did it. I received my first bacterial treatment today. It feels so strange but also exciting. Thank you for encouraging me. Doyen smiled and replied. Welcome to the community. You are never truly alone now. Dr. Veleth looked over his shoulder at the message. More and more are making that choice. In a generation, the coalition might look very different. Is that good or bad? Doyen asked. It is life, Dr. Veleth said simply. Life changes. Life adapts. Life finds new ways to survive. That is what you humans taught us, and it might be the most valuable lesson we ever learned. Doyen looked down at his hands. Under his skin, trillions of bacteria continued their work, digesting food, making vitamins, fighting off invaders, living their lives in partnership with his own cells. He had been born with them. He would die with them, and in between they would keep him alive. He used to think he was just one person. Now he knew better. He was a whole world, a walking ecosystem, a community of life working together toward a common goal, and that, he realized, was the most human thing about him. Not his intelligence or his tool-making or his language, but his ability to live in harmony with other life. His willingness to share his body with billions of tiny partners. The coalition had thought humans were weak because they could not exist alone. But humans had proven the opposite. They were strong because they refused to be alone. They had learned over millions of years of evolution that cooperation was more powerful than isolation. "What are you thinking about?" Dr. Velith asked. Doyen smiled. "I am thinking that I am glad I fainted that day. If I had just eaten lunch like I was supposed to, none of this would have happened." Dr. Velith laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Yes, sometimes the best discoveries come from mistakes. Or from hunger." They stood together in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Human and Vraxian, individual and colony, different yet increasingly similar, united by the understanding that life in all its forms was better when shared. Somewhere on the station, Kor was getting used to his new bacterial companions. Somewhere in space, other humans were exploring new worlds, their microbiomes adapting to help them survive. And somewhere in the Coalition archives, a report was being filed. The title read, "Humanity's Greatest Strength, the Ability to Live Together." Doyen felt something move under his skin. Not frightening anymore, not strange, just familiar, just home. "Let us get dinner," he said to Dr. Velith. "I am hungry again, and my bacteria need feeding." Dr. Velith nodded. "Yes, let us feed your pets." And together they walked toward the cafeteria, toward food and fellowship in the future. A future where being different was celebrated. A future where cooperation meant strength. A future where humans had taught the galaxy an old lesson in a new way. The rescue ship moved through space faster than Doyen thought possible. He sat strapped into a seat between Dr. Tayun and Minseo. Across from them, Dr. Velith and Nurse Kor checked medical equipment. The atmosphere in the ship was tense. "Tell me again what we know," Dr. Velith said. Minseo read from her tablet. The colony ship Teguk was exploring an uncharted planet. A crew member brought back samples for analysis. Within 24 hours, people started getting sick. Fever, confusion, paralysis. 40% of the crew is now incapacitated. "What did Coalition Medicine try?" Kor asked. "Everything. Antivirals, antibiotics, immune boosters. Nothing worked." Minseo looked worried. "The pathogen is something new. It attacks neural tissue specifically, and it only affects humans." "Only humans?" Dr. Velith leaned forward. "Why?" "The ship's doctor thinks it targets specific protein structures found in Earth-based life," Dr. Tayun explained. "Coalition species evolved differently. Your proteins are shaped differently. The pathogen cannot recognize you as hosts. So we are safe, but you are not," Dr. Velith said slowly. "Correct." Doyen looked out the window at the stars rushing past. "Being different from you might get us killed this time." The ship's intercom crackled. "Approaching the Teguk. Prepare for docking." When they boarded the Teguk, the difference was immediate. The ship felt wrong. The hallways were too quiet. The air smelled like disinfectant and fear. A man in a military uniform met them at the airlock. He looked exhausted. "I am Captain Jiho Shin. Thank you for coming." "How many people are sick?" Minseo asked immediately. 63 out of 150 crew members. 20 of them are in critical condition. Captain Jiho led them down the corridor. "The infection spreads through air and physical contact. We have tried quarantine, but it is too late. Everyone has been exposed." They reached the medical bay. It was filled with beds. Sick people lay under white sheets, shivering and moaning. Some were unconscious. Medical staff moved between beds, but they looked helpless. A woman in a lab coat approached. She had dark circles under her eyes. "I am Yoonji Lee, the ship's microbiologist. I have been studying the pathogen. What can you tell us?" Dr. Tayun asked. Yoonji pulled up images on a screen. "It is a crystalline virus-like organism. Very unusual structure. It attaches to human neurons and disrupts neural signaling. But here is the interesting part. I scanned several patients at the microscopic level. The pathogen cannot penetrate bacterial cell walls. Minseo and Dr. Taeyun looked at each other. The microbiome, they said together. What do you mean? Captain Jiho asked. Human bacteria have different cell walls than human cells, Minseo explained. If the pathogen cannot get through bacterial walls, maybe we can use that. Use bacteria to fight a virus? Dr. Valeth sounded skeptical. How? Some gut bacteria produce antimicrobial compounds, Dr. Taeyun said, his voice getting excited. They naturally fight off invaders. What if we engineer bacteria to specifically target this pathogen? Engineer them? How quickly can you do that? Captain Jiho asked. We have CRISPR tools on this ship, Yunji said. I can modify bacterial genes, but I need to know which bacteria to use and what modifications to make. Minseo and Dr. Taeyun immediately started working. They pulled up databases of human gut bacteria. They analyzed the pathogen structure. They ran simulations on how different bacterial compounds might affect the crystalline organism. Dr. Valeth watched with fascination. You are creating new organisms to put inside sick people. This is madness. This is medicine, Minseo said without looking up. We work with life. We do not fight against it. After 6 hours, they had a plan. They would take bacteria that normally live in human intestines. They would modify the bacteria to produce higher levels of antimicrobial peptides. These peptides would attack the crystalline structure of the pathogen. It might work, Yunji said, but we need to test it. We need a volunteer who has been exposed but is not sick yet. Me, Doyen said immediately. Everyone turned to look at him. I have been on this ship for hours. I have been exposed. Use me. Doyen, we do not know if this will work, Dr. Taeyun said. The bacteria might not colonize properly. The treatment might fail. And if we do nothing, everyone on this ship will die, Doyen replied. At least this way we learn something. Captain Jiho nodded. Do it. We are running out of time. Yunji prepared the modified bacteria. She mixed them into a solution that Doyen could drink. She also prepared an injection that would deliver bacteria directly into his bloodstream. This will feel strange, she warned. Your immune system might react to the new bacteria at first. Doyen drank the solution. It tasted terrible. Then Yunji gave him the injection. For a moment, nothing happened. Then he felt it. A warmth spreading through his body. A sensation of movement under his skin. I can feel them, he said quietly. The bacteria. They are spreading. Dr. Valeth scanned him with a medical device. Incredible. The bacterial colonies are multiplying and moving to intercept the pathogen. It is like watching an army mobilize. For 2 days, Doyen lay in a medical bed while the team monitored him. His temperature went up and down. He felt dizzy sometimes, but he did not get the paralysis or confusion that marked the infection. The bacteria are working, Minseo said on the 2nd day. Look at these scans. The pathogen is being destroyed before it can reach his neural tissue. His immune system is helping too, Dr. Taeyun added. The bacteria are training his immune cells to recognize and attack the pathogen. Dr. Valeth shook his head in wonder. Your microbiome is fighting alongside your own cells. I have never seen anything like this. On the 3rd day, Doyen sat up. He felt tired but healthy. Blood tests showed the pathogen was gone from his system. It works, Captain Jiho said. Can we treat everyone else? We need to grow more bacteria, Yunji said. But yes, we can save them. The medical team worked around the clock. They produced billions of modified bacteria. They gave the treatment to every crew member, sick or healthy. Within a week, the infection was under control. The critically ill patients took longer to recover, but they all survived. By the end of the 2nd week, the Taeguk was functioning normally again. Doyen stood on the observation deck with Dr. Valeth. They watched the stars together. I owe you an apology, Dr. Valeth said quietly. For what? For treating your microbiome like a disease. For not understanding what it truly is. Dr. Valeth turned to look at him. I have practiced medicine for 40 years. I thought I understood biology. But humans have taught me that life is more complex than I knew. We are all still learning, Doyen said. Yes. And I have one more question, if you will allow it. Of course. Could other species do what you do? Could we acquire microbiomes? Doyen looked at the doctor in surprise. You want to have bacteria? I want to understand if it is possible. Your microbiome saved your species from a pathogen that our medicine could not fight. That is powerful. That is valuable. I do not know, Doyen admitted. You would have to ask the scientists. But Dr. Veleth, having a microbiome changes you. It makes you dependent on other life. It means you are never truly alone. Dr. Veleth looked out at space. Perhaps that is not such a bad thing. Perhaps being alone is not as good as we thought. As they prepared to return to Nexus 7, Doyen felt different. He had always known about his microbiome. He had learned about it in school. But now he really understood what it meant. He was not just one person. He was a community. He was billions of lives working together. And that made him stronger than he ever knew.